Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is so nice to be here with you as we welcome in Shabbat. I am Rabbi Michael Weiss. I am joined here on the Bima at Schaarai Zedek with Cantor Deborah Canizaro, our accompanist Robert Jarash, and Mark Levine is here in the sanctuary making sure that everything works as it should, removing our obstacles to prayer. However you are joining us, wherever you are, we believe that when you are here with us, it is as if we are all in the sanctuary together, breathing in that Shabbat spirit. Let's all take a deep breath. Taking in that rarefied air and breathing out the challenges and struggles of the week. Shabbat is our island in time, something separate from everything else, where we can connect to ourselves, to our communities, and to our God in ways where it is not possible at other times. As we move through our service, you can stand or sit as you feel comfortable. You can join us in singing, reading anything you feel comfortable. Either you or a few other people are going to be the only people who hear what you're doing. So pray however feels right for you. And as we welcome in Shabbat, we welcome each other with our openings. As we welcome in Shabbat with the lights of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. And now, if you have with you
It's been a year, and for a year we have invited you to raise a Kiddush cup in your homes, to fill it with wine or grape juice. So I invite you again to raise your cup as we join together in the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'b'ratzon hintilanu zikaron le'maseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila le'mikra'ei kodesh zecher le'tziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol amim v'shabbat kodeshecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-shabbat. Amen. L'chaim. And now we will join together in our opening song, Hine Ma Tov, how good it is when all of us, brothers and sisters, are together to celebrate.
Achim gam yachad Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is to be together on this day.
How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum.
how good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is to be together on this day.
How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Please join me. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We rise, if we are comfortable, for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening.
You may be seated as together we join in Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha Hayom alevavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'v'lechtecha v'derech, u'v'shochbecha, u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot ayadecha, v'hayu letodavot b'neinecha, Uchtavtam amezuzot beitecha uvisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We read responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue
To work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Torah tehilot, osei pelech. Torah tehilot, osei pelech. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Malchutecha al panecha, chokei hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam. Le'elianu ve'amru, Le'elianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Torah tehilot, osei pelech. Torah tehilot, osei pelech. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. L'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. L'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. We now rise, if you are able, for the Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava. Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishene afar. Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach. Melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua. ונאמנתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
And we are seated. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. We invite peace into our hearts, our relationships, and our world, reflecting on our own capacity to bring and to receive peace in even greater measure. What knots inside me need to be untied? What tensions keep me from a sense of peace? With whom am I in conflict at this moment? Do I want to make peace? Open my heart, source of peace. Slow down my breathing and quiet my spirit so that I may bring your peace into all my encounters. It is often only in the peace and stillness of Shabbat that we can truly feel some of the ways that our lives have been upset from the norm, when we feel most keenly those of our loved ones who are suffering in mind, body, and spirit, who lie on beds of pain and sickness. At this time, take a moment to think of all of those people in your life in need of healing. hold their names in your heart for a moment. And we let all of those names rise forth from us. As a community, we sing our prayer of healing, Mi Shaberach. Take a moment now for silent prayer and meditation.
Ratzonim refi, Iul ratzonim refi, Legion libi lefanecha, Adonai tzuri vegali. Of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. O say shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, ve'imru. Amen.
We are starting the book of Leviticus this week. And the first phrase that came to mind when I was thinking of it was that it's a rabbi's nightmare. I'll give you an example. I was offering a word of Torah at the Hillel Academy yesterday, which is a local Jewish day school. And it started like this. Leviticus is a really hard book to read, because it is so far from the world we live in. I asked the students, raise your hand if you've ever been to a synagogue and seen the altar where we make animal sacrifices. No hands went up. So either they were listening, or more likely, with kids at 8 in the morning, they were too tired to understand. That's fine. We've all been there. So what I tried to do was connect the sacrifices at the tabernacle, the Israelites' portable temple in the wilderness, to the gifts that we give to others, both the things that we have and the things that we are. And I think it was a nice lesson. But I was doing something that a lot of Jews do when we start the book of Leviticus. We read the first line, Vayikra el Moshe vayidaber Adonai elav me'ohel moed lemor. God called to Moses and spoke to him from the tent of meeting, saying, and then our eyes glaze over, because we know what comes next. Chapter upon chapter of procedures for animal sacrifices of all kinds, dietary laws, laws of sexual morality, rituals that might seem far away and unimportant in our modern lives. We close the book and try to find anything else to talk about. It is always a lot easier to talk about being nice to each other and giving presents to our friends. But I would argue that this year, a year of sickness, of division, of violence, intolerance, and hate, we need Leviticus more than ever. This year, it can be more than just a sacrificial manual. I believe it can be the guidebook for our very lives. And no, I did not hit my head this morning. Let me explain. According to modern theories of biblical authorship, Leviticus, almost in its entirety, was written by the priests. These religious elites were in charge of all sacrificial rituals, which for the first 1,000 years of Jewish history were the sole way that people would find closeness with God. Offering up animals and produce, which would otherwise be sustaining your family, was how you worshipped, whereas we come together in prayer. The sacrificial rituals were carried out at a specific place, the tabernacle in the wilderness or the temple in Jerusalem, precisely the right way. The priests needed to wear the right kinds of clothes. Ritually pure and impure animals needed to be separated. The various parts of the sacred spaces were divided, and only certain people could enter each. These places were fortresses of structure and order. The priests were concerned with everything being just so, exactly according to God's will, and insulated from uncertainty and chaos. We see this same priestly orientation towards order in Genesis chapter 1, one of the two creation stories we have in our Torah, and the one believed to have come from a priestly source. This is the story in which the world is created when God tames the forces of chaos and nothingness, tohu vavohu, to create something. The world emerges in 7 days, each piece on its own day, the different facets subdivided into neat categories: stars, birds, fish, animals, human beings. Each had their role to play. The rules we read about in Leviticus serve to do the same thing that God does, to categorize and order, to separate permitted and forbidden foods, permitted and forbidden sexual relationships, even different kinds of fabric. Our priestly authors imagine a world where every Israelite follows these laws, although we know that there were violations. At the very least, they ensured that everything was in its place in their own little island of order, totally under their control, the tabernacle, God's dwelling place on earth. And this desire for stability that we find from the priests comes from a truth that we all understand, even if we sometimes don't want to acknowledge it. The world is a chaotic place. There is only so much within our control. The global pandemic is the obvious example. But even in our own homes, pipes leak, the power goes out, the internet goes down. We are often at the mercy of forces that are indifferent to us. And worse yet, we live in a world where many suffer from injustice, hunger, natural disasters. The list goes on. This world is not how our tradition teaches us that God wants it to be, where, as the prophet tells us, all can sit beneath their fig trees in peace, and none will have anything to fear. For the Israelites in the wilderness, the tabernacle was the counterbalance to this truth, to their wanderings and wars. In entering even the outer enclosure of the tabernacle, people glimpsed a world where things were as they should be. People worshipped God in exactly the right ways. Each person's offering was as readily accepted as anyone else's, so long as they followed the rules. For the priests, this was a just world, exactly as God wanted it. And seeing that world would hopefully inspire the people to build it elsewhere, to spread God's holiness beyond just the walls of the tabernacle. Perhaps the book of Leviticus can fulfill the same role for us in this year. We are living through a chaotic moment, and it is hard to imagine anything else. But Leviticus does just that. It offers up a dream of the world that its authors strove to create, a utopia. While the perfected world for us does not center around ritual sacrifice, we can find inspiration in the courage it takes to envision and try to create a world of justice, where everyone has a place to sleep at night, where everyone knows where their next meal is coming from, where no one dares denigrate their fellow human beings, each made in the image of God. The orderliness of the tabernacle, the dream of a broken world repaired. Both of these things seem far away from us, perhaps unreachable. But that impossible vision gives us something to aim for. This year, may Leviticus inspire us to take steps to make the entire world a holy place, starting from the room that we're in and moving outward from there. Shabbat Shalom. We begin to conclude our service as we rise for Aleinu.
ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקים כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים מודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך. ונאמר, היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die. People do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. As we come to the mourner's cottage, we think of all of those who have been taken from us in their time or too soon. In our community, we're remembering those who have died in recent days. Gloria Barr, Elaine Dorian Friedman, Eileen Hirsch, Dulcie Semmel, Alan Beer, Carol Lemon, Eugene Paul, Lee Oken, and Chris Hawk. We also think of those who have died at this time in years past, whose yahrzeits we commemorate. Robert Baumgarten, Alice Samet Beer, David Cohen, Jack Dion, Marjorie Deason, Bessie Deich, Meyer Egnatz, Burton Finkel, Ray Ginsberg, Henry Goldfinger, Eleanor Jane Gross, Martin J. Grossman, Simon Hamovitz, Iris Hellman, Jay Hoffman, Lawrence David Hoffman, Marilyn Hoffman, Nathan Holtzman, Bessie Mae Hunter, Hortense Lasher, Jack Liss, Bennett Elliott Margolis, Joseph Merrill, Thomas McCune, Alan D. Oil, Howard I. Remland, Bernard Rohatner, Robert Rosen, Leonard Rosenthal, Ruth Rosenthal, Henry A. Rawson, David R. Salama, Joseph Samuels, Muriel Cohn Schwartz, Harold Shore, William S. Singer, Louis Smiles, Nathan Weiss, Sonia Whitman, Hyman Whitman, Rita Winograd, Ivy Witkoff, Hilna M. Walper, Albert Zamor, and Sadie J. Spar. And to those names we add all the names of your loved ones, anyone who you're thinking of at this time who is no longer with us. Let's take a brief moment to remember them in their strongest and kindest moments. And we carry those memories with us now and always as we rise as a community for the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divarach hiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemeh dekudesha brichu. Le'ela minkol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say together, Amen. We are seated, and we have just a few announcements before we sing our closing song, Oseh Shalom. Feel free to join us at our Zoom oneg tonight, which will be at 8 o'clock or as soon as services end, whichever comes first. And we can just spend a little time together as we bring in Shabbat. You will need to bring your own snacks, but they will be all the sweeter having been shared with each other. Torah study is at 9 o'clock tomorrow as we start the book of Leviticus, I hope with maybe a different lens this time around. And wouldn't you believe it, Passover crept up on us. It just sort of happened. So we have a lot of exciting things going on. Monday night, the 22nd, 7:30, we've got a cooking demo with Zach Engel, who is an award-winning chef at Galit in Chicago. It should be really enlightening and engaging. On that Wednesday, the 24th, Rabbi Simon will be leading a lunch and learn on finding a kosher for Passover that works for you. So I'm interested to see how he helps us craft our own understanding of what Passover observance can look like. And of course, we have Shabbat services next Friday night, but on Saturday morning, that's the 27th at 10:30, join us for our interactive drive-through Exodus experience. If you want to have an understanding of what that is, I would invite you to come join us for it.
It's going to be fun.
There will be nothing like it, I'm sure.
Ever.
And then that Sunday night at 5:30, you can join us for our second night Zoom Seder, where we will spend the second night of Passover together as a community.
And I do believe we have on our online, for our first night Seder, we have videos that will help you to do your own Seder at home. They were created by the clergy, and they're designed to help lead you through the various parts of the service. So I hope you'll make use of them and watch them and celebrate your Seder safely and together with your family and safely.
And a version updated from last year's will be available
yes.
before that evening. We're in a very different place than we were last March.
We are indeed. But we are in the right place for our closing song. So please join with me in Oseh Shalom.
That's a segue.
Shalom imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol
And for those of us who are snacking or eating dinner late after our service, we will say a motzi to give thanks for our food. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. V'te'avon, everyone. And have a wonderful week. Shabbat Shalom. And may your week be full of blessings.